All right. What is going on, everybody? My name is Skyler Ray, and we are here with Colicchie. We wanted to pop on here real quick. We have a lot of things going on, but on top of that, if you do not know, August 15th, is it August 15th or 16th?
August 15th, I believe.
Okay, if not, it should be in the description somewhere. So August 15th,
Yeah.
Albany, Oregon. Make sure you get your guys' tickets. We got Kalichi, we got myself, we got Kala Mulcahy, we have Prosthetic, we have Kid Rose. It's gonna be a fun event, guys. On top of that, it's gonna go ahead and be raising money for the treatment center, right? So
hmm
make sure you grab your ticket, make sure you come through, make sure you have fun. I'm really excited about it. Kalichi's never been to Oregon, as he
I
says,
have not.
Oregon or
Yep.
gun.
Mhm.
So we are excited, man. Is there anything you look forward to coming to Oregon or what?
Uh, yeah, just a new place, new experience,
Yeah,
another memory. The same as always. Yeah, so I'm definitely excited about this show.
that's
Meet
fly.
you in person for the first
Yeah,
time too. So
that's
that'll be
gonna be
cool.
dope. That's
Yeah.
gonna be dope, man. I'm super excited for it. And then we meet you a week later over in your territory.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be really cool, guys. I'm super excited about it. August 15th, I believe it is. If not, it's August 16th, but it's in the description. So
Yeah.
correct me, whatever. Daniel Dudley in here. He said, "What up? I appreciate you stopping in." But yeah, guys, Cleach is gonna go ahead and be doing his thing. You're gonna be doing some talking and some performing, correct?
Yep. hmm
Okay, I'm super excited about it. What type of songs do you have? Do you have like a set list that you're preparing for, or is it still up in the
I
air?
mean, I do, nor I mean, it really all depends on the length of time. Like I have a set list for 20 minutes, 40 minutes, hour,
That's
75 minutes. It really all depends.
yeah.
Like yesterday, they gave me an hour. They gave me a half an hour to perform, or half an hour to speak, and then an hour to perform.
Uh-huh.
So I had like 14 songs that I did.
Yeah.
But like I said, it always changes.
Yeah.
I mean, there's still I have some songs that I guess you could call them like fan favorites or whatever that I always do. But other than that, I mean, it really all depends.
Absolutely. Me and Kayla are the same way. We got show sets all the way up to 2 hours, which normally then I speak for an hour, perform
hmm
for an hour, tell little stories in between, like what I'm feeling or maybe what happened, right?
Yeah.
But we're always prepared, and we have. It's funny because we always, not always, because I don't want to give it away, but always have the same set of songs to end the show. And we call
hmm
that our home stretch, right? Every once in a while, we'll pop a couple new ones in there. Every once in a while, we'll do some different things. Especially like for a lot of our tour sponsors, we have like 5 shows with them, right, every year. And we hit all their treatment center locations or all their drop-in center locations. But we call it the home stretch. We always have like 3 or 4 songs that we always do, right? I know they're a hit, I know they're a success, but once it gets to that point, it's just like super autopilot.
Yeah.
It's like I've done this song 70, 100 times. Like I know how it goes down. People love it.
No, I
Um,
it's kind of weird that you say that because I kind of like agree. Like certain songs I've been working on as far as like opening the show and then like middle and all that. But I feel like towards I get to the end, I don't always have them in order, but it's always like the same like group of songs. And well, yeah, and like once I like get to that point,
mm,
it's like almost like a breath of fresh air.
it is.
Because
It is.
I don't know, like I said, like yeah, I've done them so many times, and I don't know, they're just easier than others. Because I mean, I for this is just me, but like so I have songs where two where even like I sing on, and especially like
Yeah.
in front of a crowd, it makes me more vulnerable, and it
Yep.
makes me more I don't know, but like I don't even know what the word is, like fearful, I guess you could
Yep.
say. But
Yep.
as far as like rapping, you know what I mean? That's like that's just much easier for me to do.
I hear that. I hear that. Do you ever get nervous? Like you have a set list and you're up there and like you're unsure about the speakers or like, you're unsure like people's reactions. And
I do, yeah, and it's always hit or miss. I mean, truly, like this is gonna sound so lame, but like
mm,
I really just go and do the best that I can. And
mhm.
I've had audiences to the point where it seemed like nobody was interested, and then other times where it's just been absolutely crazy. And I don't get down on myself if I don't get a certain reaction
Yeah.
from the crowd or anything like that. Like I said, for instance, yesterday was truly amazing. I had the opportunity to speak and perform in front of like 8 local treatment centers. They bust them
That's
all in
dope.
together, and I don't really do a lot of stuff around here at all. And
Mm,
I didn't really know what to expect, and it was, man. It turned out to be like it far exceeded like my expectations as
that's
far
dope.
as what I thought it was going to be like.
Mm,
And once again, I don't want to say like the actual crowd. Like I don't want to say like that they weren't like engaged or anything like
mm.
that. But to hear all the positive feedback after from not only staff but from all the patients that were there, it I don't know, it just gave me reassurance. It really made me feel good because I think ultimately as a performer, like I want to do good, and not even really for the sense.
Uh-oh, we lost Colicchie. We lost Colicchie. It is. We are gonna wait for him to pop on. There we go. There we go.
Sorry.
My
I'm
man.
sorry. I didn't turn my phone on do not disturb.
You
There we
all
go.
right? You all right?
Okay. But what I was saying, I don't really get into the mind frame of like, are people going to judge me? I just always want to do a good job and make an impact for not only the people that invited me, but also for the people that they had me performing and speaking
Yes.
to. Because I mean, it when you have a microphone, whether you're behind a podium or you're on stage, you do hold a sense of responsibility. I
You
hold a
do.
sense of responsibility as far as, trying to touch lives or trying to carry a message or share my past experience or share exactly what I do on a daily basis to get and remain clean. So it is. It's not that it's pressure because
Mm,
I'm the same as anybody that watches me. We're the same person, but in a sense it still feels like pressure because you're in the spotlight for that
yeah.
hour or half hour, whatever it is.
It gets rough, bro. It gets rough. So we got Daniel Dudley in here said he's a super big fan of you. Uh Tim said keep it up, guys. Kayla says she agrees with what you say. I know me and Kayla talk. So like there's performances where I'm like, these people hate me, right? I'm like, there's no way. I'm like I feel like a nuisance, right? Like I'm bugging them, like I'm taking up their day. I'm performing, I'm speaking, I'm like, this song's gonna hit, and I'm looking around, I'm like, damn, they're just like glaring at me, right? And sometimes it's hard to remove myself, and I see somebody in the front row just mugging. And I'm like, oh, she wants to beat me up, right? I better make sure I bring Kayla to the bathroom so I don't get jumped, you know? And afterwards, those are the people that come up, the ones that you don't think they're, but that
Yeah.
they don't know what their face looks like, right? And they're engaged, but they're just engaged differently, and they're and they'll come up afterwards, and I'm like, bro, everybody hated us, and Kayla's like, I know. And then everybody comes up, and there's such long lines to meet us and buy merch and want photos, and people are like crying or telling us how much of an impact we made, and I'm like, damn, I thought they for sure hated us, but we got to imagine, like, with like tomorrow's show, like, or no, Saturday we head out to Caldwell. It's going to be 108 degrees.
Really?
You know what I'm saying? So it gets cooking, especially like some of these centers have before we had so many in July. And then now that the tours lasted about 5 months, they get in early in like June or like August and September. A lot more people are picking September, which makes more sense. It's recovery month. I prefer to do the later ones because we've been out in there in like 105-degree weather, setting stuff up. You're frustrated, you're grumpy, you're trying to nail it. You can't even see sweat's getting in your eyes. Your eyes are burning, and no
Hmm.
one's making any noise. And you're like, damn, this is rough. We just drove like 10 hours to get here. This is
Yeah.
rough, you know? Um, yeah, it's a lot, man. But I know sometimes like I gotta remember not to get in my head, right? I get scared, I get nervous, but it's because I know that this means so much to me. Like
Hmm.
I've wanted to do music since I was like 9 years old. Started doing music at 11. Like this means everything to me, and I'm so proud of myself because I feel like I just got good at 28 years old. I'm 33. I'll be 34 in November, and I feel like I just got good, but I have such a sense of pride when I'm up on stage because I want to be dope, bro. I want to be like everybody's like,
Hmm.
oh my god, you know. And so it means so much to me. And there's times I get so much in my head, and I just got to remember that even if I do mess up, it doesn't matter. But at the end of the day, I put in the work, and the results will come. There's times where like I do chicken out sometimes. There's like songs and I'm like pumped for, I'm excited, I'm nailing it, rehearsing on the way to the gig, and then that song's coming and she'll look at me, she's like, "Okay, so this is the next song," and I'm like, "Skip it, skip it, skip it." You know what I'm saying? No, 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 no,
Yeah.
let's not do that one because I'm like
Hmm.
so nervous, you know, and I get so scared. I'm always so much fear, man. To me, the talking part is easy, like when I'm telling my story and stuff, that's the easiest thing in the world. I feel like I can get up and speak in front of no matter what size crowd, whatever, because that's just telling my story. I know what my story is. Like just talking, telling you what happened to me, like that's easy. Right? But the rapping I care so much about. And when I'm up on stage, man, it means so much. We just did tour or we just came back from Idaho, right? Have you ever been stranded on tour? Look, we have the show in Chehalis, Idaho, and we're driving our van up there, and about 2 hours away from Portland, we noticed I went to get some. I had some. I wasn't drinking enough water. I had a really bad pounding headache. It was like squeezing my brain. I was like, man, I need some water. I need some aspirin. I need to get ready for this. Right, we got a show in the
Hmm.
morning, and and we noticed our light came on, like it needed antifreeze or whatever. Like I don't know anything about cars, but the radiator, right? And so we dumped 2 bottles of antifreeze in there, like you're supposed to, and it drank it all. The tub was still empty. And we're like, all right, let's just push on. So we get there and we didn't have, like, the light went off. Bro, this whole 10-hour drive to Chehalis, Idaho, which we're turning around, we rescheduled for Sunday. We're going back. Um, but the car or the van, there's an hour stretch out of that 10 hours that you have no service. And we happen to break down right in the
Really?
middle of it. Right in the middle of it, bro. And I'm like, yo, I don't know what to do. It's like 100-degree weather. Like we can't turn the car on; it's overheating, so no AC. Luckily we had about like 4 or 5 fans with us. Um, not like supporters, but like actual fans, because we were planning on camping afterwards. And so we had them on my dog, and like we finally got it going, dumped some water, and got it cooled down. We made it to Stanley, Idaho, which is about an hour away from where we got to go. And we found out when then we got there, we turned it off, and we went to turn it on to make the rest of the drive. The starter went out. So our
Wow.
radiator's messing up, our starter went out. Bro, we tried to we were like, can we get a hotel? And we couldn't get a hotel because the day that we were there was the night that it broke down. Right? And that night happens to be the one day of the full 365-day year that they have their big music festival. And so there was no hotels, not even like other towns close by, no nothing. So like we set up the tarp. We ended up sleeping in our van, but we had a date night under the stars. I'm like, what else are we gonna do, right?
Hmm.
And so I actually made a post. It was a positive post, like, man, like this is happening, this is happening. I'm excited I get to have date night. Like we were prepared for it. We had food, we had burgers, we had our outside pop-up tent set up, and but someone drove 18 hours to fix our starter, right?
Really?
Yes, it was insane. Somebody saw our post and drove 18 hours. And it's crazy because I was in the store and I went to go buy something. This lady's like, "Oh, you go ahead of me." I was like, "You sure?" She's like, "Yeah, my husband forgot her wallet." And I was like, "Okay." And so I go to check out, and then she's like, "Oh, there he is." She's like, "Honey, did you get your wallet?" And he's like, "No, we left it at the campsite." And I turned and I looked what they had on the conveyor belt, and I was like, "Can I buy this for you?" You know what I'm saying? And the guy was like, "No, no, no, don't worry about it." And I was like, "Let me buy it for you." And he's like, "No." And I was like, "Check it out. We just broke down. There's no hotels. There's none of this." I said, "I need some good karma right now." I said, "Can we please buy this for you?" And he's like, "All right, I'll let you buy it for me." Within 15 to 20 minutes after doing that, I get a message, and the guy's like, "I just saw your post. I'll drive out there right now. I'll come fix your vehicle." And like, good karma within like 15 minutes. It was
Wow.
insane. And we get back now. I think we're gonna retire our tour van for the year. We rented a car for tomorrow, SUV. We have to. I think we're just gonna replace the whole engine. Replace the whole engine. I know we blew a head gasket. It's probably gonna be like 8 to 9 grand. Which hurts. It hurts. But we got to do it right because if I buy a vehicle for around that price, a new van, then I'm probably gonna have to worry about the same problems. My van already has like 350,000 miles on it. It's time just to. I love the shell. I love everything we did with it. Have you ever been stranded on tour?
No, I mean not really. I mean not really. I mean I've been stranded as far as like canceled flights and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and but not like on on a tour bus or anything like that.
Uh,
But
It was rough, bro. 5 days in the van. 5 days in the van. And here's the thing, AAA, we call AAA, we have premium, right? They sell you 200 miles, like radius, free trip,
yeah.
couple dollars afterwards. Easy peasy. We'll get you a ride, right? And so I call him and I'm like 560 miles out. And I'm like, hey, so this is it. It was Saturday morning, so all auto parts stores were closed till Monday. The few I couldn't like get a hold of, they said they wouldn't be able to start till Monday and they would have to order the part, which means till Tuesday, right? And I'm like,
Mm.
yo, it's hot. I got my dog. She's overheating. We got like wet blankets on her. We got fans on her. Um, and we finally, right? They tell us if you can get close to the 200-mile mark, because here's the thing: they said we can't tow you to an auto parts store because we have to have permission to bring your van there. None of them are open. We're in a
Okay.
small little town in Idaho, right? They also say that we can't tow you to a hotel unless they get permission. Because I was like, well, let's go like 100 miles deep, see if there's a hotel. Let's see, and so all the hotels we called said they cannot bring the tow truck in there because it's a liability to their customers.
Uh,
And so I'm like, yo, all right. So we find the guy comes out, fix the starter. We still got the radiator issue. So we're driving back like 30 miles per hour on the highway, got our flashlights on. You know what I'm saying? And we make it like 206 miles away from home. And we end up calling AAA. And what they don't tell you about the premium plan is like, yes, we'll tow you 200 miles for free, but no tow truck's going to want to come pick you up. So we sat there for almost 24 hours waiting for a tow truck all night. They're like, all right, so like, we got somebody, and they're like, oh, never mind. No one wants to drive 200 miles to take you home. And I'm like, I didn't know. I thought they just had like a gang of tow trucks that would pick you up, you know what I'm
yeah.
saying? And take you back. Like AAA, calm. All my life, people have been ranting and raving about AAA. So I didn't know that they hire off contractors and everybody can deny you.
Mhm.
So we're sitting there and they're finally like, yo, if we tow you to a hotel and drop your van off, because we have like $20,000 worth of equipment right inside of our
Mm.
van. We're like, we're not leaving. I'm sleeping in this van. We're not leaving it in the parking lot at McDonald's. You know what I'm saying? And so I was like, all right. They're like, if we tow you to a hotel and then take your van under lock and key at one of our garages, will that work? And I was like, yes, it will. And they're like, okay, so you get a hotel for the night. We're like, yeah. So he's like, all right, I'm gonna make a call, see what you can find for a hotel. He calls back after like 10 minutes, and we booked the hotel. Mind you, like the pet deposit was 125. I've never seen a pet deposit more than 40 bucks. But we booked this hotel. AAA calls us back and they're like, so yeah, any update? And I was like, yeah, we got the hotel, it's booked. Do you know what time you'll be here? And they're like, so here's the thing, we can't actually find no one to do that. And I was like, yo, I just booked the
Uh,
hotel. And so it was crazy. It was crazy, but we will be back in Idaho Saturday and Sunday to complete the gigs that we were booked for. I'm super excited for it, man. Do you have any upcoming shows besides the August 15th that you could let people know about?
yeah. I actually was gonna make like a another flyer or whatever. I have two shows in Ohio next weekend, in Chillicothe and also in Cleveland, and then I have shows Michigan,
Canada?
Texas, Canada. Um, where else, man? Colorado. Um, I'd have to look at my schedule, but yeah,
Hey,
a
that's
bunch of
dope though.
different places.
Yeah, man, that's incredible. It's really cool to see you get booked and do your thing, man. I know you've been doing it for a while, but it's really awesome that we can inspire people with our music and people feel justified to invest in us, right?
Hmm.
The fact that like music pays our bills is such a beautiful thing, man. I see you out there grinding. I see you out there doing your thing. You work so hard as an independent artist. Like people don't understand, like as an independent artist, like yes, I have tour sponsors that help out with a lot of things, but like tour is expensive. We're talking 20,
Oh
30
yeah.
grand, if not more, easily. Like just to
Hmm.
keep it going, like you're on tour for months. Like it's expensive,
Oh
you
yeah.
know? So kudos to you, man. You've been doing your thing. You've been grinding. I know you're an inspiration to a lot of people in the community. Every time I bring up your name, bro, it's like they go nuts. They go
Means yeah,
nuts.
means a
You
lot to
know,
me.
it's insane the stories that I've heard, the impact. I got a friend named Bonita. She's always talking about like how much you mean to her. So many people truly mean it, and it's crazy because it's like I didn't find out who you were till like 4 years ago, 3 years ago, right? And but like all these people have so many stories, bro. Like you are grinding, you are on top, you're smashing it out. Like that's got to feel great. Do you feel, I know there's a lot of pressure with a lot of things, but how do you feel finding all the success that you found, man?
Um, just grateful, honestly. I did music for over a decade with I don't want to say no audience, but a very small audience, and I think we talked about it before, but I
Yeah.
always just did it because of the freedom that it gave me and the feeling that it gave me,
Yeah.
and I was just able to basically just divulge my life, on a platform, whatever it was, and I don't know, I'm just very happy that that I've got to a point that X amount of people have heard my music because I didn't picture my life how it is today ever.
Man.
I really haven't, and
I mean I think that makes perfect sense, man, cuz here's the thing.
mhm,
I've always dreamed of doing music at the highest level, right? I grew up obsessed with Eminem, like, so I've always dreamed of rocking arenas and stadiums.
mhm.
Um, I just never knew or visualized what the process would look like.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like climbing up to that level. It's insane, man. Do you have any artists that inspire you right now? Have you heard Eminem's brand new album? What do you think about it? I know
I
you probably
have. I
heard it.
mean, I've been so busy, but I skimmed it. I The one song that really means a lot to me is a song called "Temporary," and I don't know.
That makes
I was
sense.
actually going to write a post about this yesterday, but I have not had a song make me feel like that
Mm,
in years. I
yeah,
honestly can't even remember the last song that I've heard that has made me really truly feel that type of emotion, and
that's dope, bro.
which is actually really cool. And but yeah, no, it's pretty good from what I've heard so
Yeah,
far.
that's dope. That's dope. That makes sense. You would connect with that song. I really liked the song. I thought it was good, but I don't have a kid, let alone a daughter. So I feel like there was I understand what the concept is. I understand what it means to people, but to me, it didn't wasn't able to touch me on that level as somebody with a daughter or with a, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, and it's
I can
crazy because
see
I
that.
told that to my friend, and he was like, he was talking to me about his wife and how his wife was listening to it almost as being Haley and
Yeah.
her father saying that to her, and she said that she connected with it that way.
Man, that's absolutely beautiful. I love the album. I'll be honest. The first few times listening through, I was like, it's pretty good. But then I listened to it like 3 or 4 times from front to the end because he said to listen to it from the front to the end. It's a conceptual
Hmm.
album, and I listened to it about 3 or 4 times, bro. And I am juiced. I get to go see Eminem. We got next to stage tickets October 19th in Texas. Super stoked about that, man. I'm I'm like, yo, he might have just dropped the best album in like 20 years for him. And I get like, because I always think like, man, I wanted like my lady seen Eminem back when he was like Slim Shady, first like album or two out, and I hear people tell these stories, and like I try to like explain to him how good, because she's like, I wasn't even interested in Eminem. I came for like Papa Roach and Limp Bizkit, and like and I'm like, yo, you got prime Slim Shady, and you didn't even appreciate our value. And it's
Listen,
like,
I remember '99 and 2003
uh,
very well. Man, what an incredible time for music in general. And I feel like we would never ever be in that era ever again. But
no,
anywhere from the mid '90s to the early 2000s, it was just such an inspirational time. I mean, I wasn't even really doing music then, but
yeah,
man, the albums, as far as rap albums and the artists and all that, like, I mean, yeah, hands down, his first three albums will
insane.
always hold a piece in my heart. And I mean, I can vividly remember, like when the Marshall Mathers LP dropped out, and I can remember being in high school, and I can remember the house parties, and I can remember, all the songs and how they made me feel at that time, and memorizing them and
Yeah,
everything. So I've been inspired by so many artists, and
yeah.
yeah, I mean, he was definitely one that pushed me, to start writing.
I'm grateful for him, man. He really, see the way I connected with Eminem was like that's what inspired me to do music personally. Because it showed somebody that looked like me can make it and be successful. But on top
Mm,
of that, the feeling and emotion that I connected to, I wanted to make others feel that way, and that's what got me into music. Right, the
yeah,
way he made me feel is how I wanted to do for everybody else. And so, I'm not sure. I'm not going to say I wouldn't be doing music because my dad always wrote music. Like, music's a big part of me. And so, like, but it really gave me, hope. It really gave me a dream, a vision. I'm super stoked, bro. We got that going on October 19th. I got a possible gig because we just did Houston, Texas. Then we went to Austin. Be back in Austin October 19th. And then I think we might be going back to Houston November 10th. They have an event that I'm waiting to hear back from. If Kayla's watching, I believe we might have got the okay today. When I was hopping out the shower, I got the text. I'm waiting for final details, but I'm pretty sure it's locked in. But there's supposed to be like 10,000 people at this show.
oh, that'd be awesome.
It's a recovery event. It's through VOA, or not VOA, but it's like VOA. It's for the veterans, right?
Hmm.
And they came to our last show. We co-headlined a festival in Houston, Texas, not too long ago, and Kayla dropped the flames emojis. I know, I'm excited too. So, like we did this thing, and there was people there. It's like PTSD veterans. And they have this thing, they help work on their mental health, their addiction, and they came through and they absolutely loved what we did. It was really cool. They did interviews. They were super grateful. It's crazy because like the small things that I do, I don't even notice how grateful people are. They're like, "Hey, can we get an interview?" And I was like, "Yeah, come back right now. Let's go." So I took them in the green room. We did the interview. My emotional softy butt broke down, started crying, wiping tears, but supposedly it touched them. And they were in love. I gave all the veterans there. I told them come to the merch table, like get some free stuff. Like we're excited to have you. Gave them shout outs on stage, everything like that. But they want to book us for their big event. So they have you ever been to Houston, Texas?
I have, yeah.
Okay, so they have a thing, I forgot what it's called. It's like their big, it's basically the equivalent of Manhattan's uh Central Park. So I forgot what it's called. It's something green, but the city of Houston donated it to these people for the
Okay.
event. And they're supposed to have their biggest event, which is on Veterans Day, November 11th. But the day before, they're having a barbecue. And I believe they want to book us to perform. But that will be in front of like 10,000 people. What I'm excited about, I think the most I probably did is like 5 or 6,000 at the Kevin Gates of Spokane Arena, which was fun, you know. But I'm super stoked for this. I think it's going to be a cool opportunity to be able to get out there and meet people. I never take anything for granted. I'm always super excited that people even care, right? Because like you said, it
No,
took so
truly.
long. to get to this point. You know,
Hmm.
I do got to ask you. So, with all the shows coming up, what about music? You have anything new coming out, or I know you got
I
that song with
do, yeah.
Keegan, or
I did,
right?
yeah. So we just released that. I still, man, I have a song too, Drug Addiction 3, that I'm gonna try and release within the next month. And I keep starting other projects, but that song's pretty much all the way done. I have a couple other songs that I'm
You
working
got
on.
your sticky notes. You looking at
I'm
your
looking at
sticky
my
notes?
list, my
Ah,
list on my
sticky notes.
TV.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just recently started probably like 3 or 4 songs.
Okay, that's
So
dope, bro. That's dope. I'm super excited to hear him. I know Headlights was crazy.
yeah,
Headlights was crazy. I'm a big fan of that song. I think you
yeah,
both
me
did
too.
good. Casey's super talented.
Oh
Super
yeah.
talented. I always love what he can do, man. He's inspiring because he does other songs too. That's not about addiction. And it's hard for me because like I try to write songs and a lot of my songs are about addiction because that's such a major point of my life. And I want to be able to, and I feel like that's where I could really like put the most emotion into. It's hard when that was such a big piece of me, like the brokenness, right?
Hmm.
Um, I think it's really cool what he did on the track. I think it's dope what you did. I really love that you guys were vibing in the video. You guys shoot that in New York or where?
We did Manhattan.
Okay, okay,
Mhm.
that's dope. That's dope, bro. I'm super excited to come out and shoot Drowning with you.
Oh yeah.
Um, it's gonna be a lot of fun. And I appreciate you taking the time to do that. It means a lot. Hi, how are you doing? You having a good day? Yeah. Did you just have a birthday?
Oh, she
How
did.
old are
Yes,
you
she
now?
did. She just turned 7.
7. Oh, I bet you're taller than me. What type of
She's
cake did
good.
you
Yeah,
have?
she's growing.
Yeah, that's crazy. It's wild because like there's not too many people that I dig deep into, but I was like looking at a lot of your posts, looking at a lot of your songs and videos, and she has grown. It's
Oh
crazy,
yeah.
especially since like
Yeah,
the
I mean,
older stuff.
for those that don't listen to my music, yeah, she was 1 month old in drug addiction, so she's the
Okay.
little baby at the end, and then obviously she's bigger in drug addiction part 2. So
Yeah,
then in drug addiction 3, I'm probably going to do roughly the same concept and idea, and she'll be at the end of that. So I mean, you'll be able to see how big she is in that too.
that's
So.
incredible. Are you doing like long form, like you did with it? I'm trying to explain that,
I
like addiction,
am,
drug
and
addiction one.
I actually, I actually took out 3.5 minutes.
Did you?
A couple weeks ago, I did, and so I had a very detailed story in the
Yeah.
middle of the song, and I actually ended up taking it out, and I'm just gonna use it for like another song,
Fair enough. Fair
because
enough.
I was up to like 11 minutes, and
Yeah.
I just feel like not that that's too long, but I just
Mm.
feel like where I'm at now with like the 7:30, 8 minutes long. I think that's plenty. You know what I mean?
It's tried. It's battle tested. You found out it
Yeah,
works.
yeah.
That's really
So
cool, man. I'm super stoked for it. I'm excited
yeah,
for everything you got coming your way, bro. Bro, you're inspiring a whole generation. Like
I
that's
appreciate.
incredible, and you're doing it with your story and your music. You're doing it by being you. And
Yeah,
I feel like that really works. So what do you think?
no, yeah, absolutely. And I was just saying, I've always been like people might not know this. I might have said this to you last time we talked. I'm a huge Joe Budden fan, and I know there's
Okay.
like the way that like people see him, but like he has actually a lot of really good music. And I remember like growing up, like listening to him, and he has a lot of songs that are like really long and just like
Yeah.
straight bars. And I don't know, I kind of gravitated towards that. Even at an early age. I mean, whether it's drug addiction or Feel It in the Air, or even All My To Whom It May Concerns. I think To Whom It May Concern Part 3 is like 10 minutes long.
Okay.
But I just always like doing that, and I feel like I could just say so much in that time. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And I mean, I have my short songs too. I mean, I'm learning to like make songs shorter because of people's attention spans, but I'm not afraid to just try anything really.
That's really cool. And I always find it so much easier to write a song with no structure,
Hmm.
where it's just bars and you're just telling like a story or like you're just going in, just rapping. I always
Yeah.
find that a lot easier because there's no pressure of like you got to like wind it back in for the hook. You got to cut it short. Cuz I know a lot of times like I'll be writing verses and I'm like, "Ah, dang, that's like 20 bars. That's not going to fit." Then you got to like
Mhm.
pick and choose or cut and then I'm like, "Well, that didn't hit
I
the
know.
same as I wanted."
And then I'll always cut stuff out of songs, and I'm like, oh, I'll use this for something else, and I
Mm,
just don't. Man, I have so much stuff in all my notebooks and even in my notes on my phone
yeah.
that I planned on using,
And
you
never
know, at
used.
some point, but then I just don't.
Oh my god, I got a thing here. I keep telling myself I'm gonna go through it. I probably have like 200 plus songs that I wrote the whole time I was like locked up over like the five
Mhm.
6 year or 5 year period, and I have never even looked at any of the lyrics. I keep telling myself I wrote full on albums, bro. And I think I'm hesitant because I'm like it can't be good. I was only like 22. I was only
Yeah,
like
and I mean,
22.
even though the stuff that I have that I never used, I always think to myself, well, I can at least like get ideas from it, you know. But
There's
then I
got to
also
be a
get to a
line or
point,
two or something I
I
did all
get to
right.
a point too where, like, you know, I don't know. I've been doing music such a long time, and I like don't remember if I rhyme certain words with other words, and like I don't
Yeah,
want to be like super repetitive, you know, in
yeah.
the way that I talk about things. So like a lot of times too, I don't even really remember if I wrote a certain bar or if I
Yeah.
just wrote it in my notebook or did I actually record it or did I rhyme this with this or stuff like that. And because I mean I don't know unless I perform the songs, I
Mm.
don't really remember
That's the
the
same.
song.
That's the same. My lady sometimes be like, "You already said that." I was like, "I did." She's like, "You already said that." And I'm like, "Huh?" It's like, "What song?" I'm like, "Oh, I said it there." And then I'll listen to something really old, and I'm like, "Dang, I said that like 3 or 4
Yeah.
times." And I'm like, I must really like that bar or something. Um, one thing that music for me, man, it's weird because it's like it's hard for me to process emotions, and I know I developed this as a young kid. My defensive mechanism and it naturally developed because I know like the mask that I wear a lot of times, and what I mean by that is it deflects like it's like a wall. It deflects from me being hurt, and I think I've had to use that as survival a lot, right? And
Yeah.
so like a lot of times like deaths and things like it makes me really sad and it affects me, but sometimes I think something's wrong with me just because so many people die, right?
Mhm.
There's times it's like 5 to 10 people a week, and it's just like, especially like when fentanyl really started hitting the streets, and like COVID happened, I was losing sometimes like 3 or 4 people a day, and it was just like it's crazy, But I think music is a way for me to process. It's therapy.
Mhm.
It's a way for me to be able to explain my emotion because I cry all the time listening to music, other people's music. I cry like when I'm writing music, but it's hard for me
Mhm.
to cry like, you know what I'm saying? This is like a movie, but it's really weird. So like, I'm so grateful for music. I'm so grateful that I get a chance to vent myself. So if anybody's listening and they always hear me talk about the same topics, I guess the inner damage is never done being healed.
Mhm.
So if you guys always hear me rapping about the same stuff, it's because that's really what affected me in my life, and this is my chance to process. It's my chance to be able to say what needs to be said. I wear my heart on my sleeve, man, and I think you do a lot of the same, and I know it works for you, and it's crazy because like being able to identify what works for me is wild. It's as simple as like, cause it's like cracking the code, right? Been doing music since 11 years old. Didn't find success till I was 28. But once I started being my authentic self, then everything opened up and everything started working because it became relatable.
Yeah.
So I'm just grateful we get a chance to be able to do that with music, man. I'm super excited, guys. If you come to the show August 15th, uh, I'm locking down, bro. August 15th is
Oh yeah.
August 15th. Grab your tickets. Colicchie will be there. Me and Kayla will be there. Um, did you said you would when I asked you? Did you say that you were okay performing drowning?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Oh my god, bro. It means a lot, bro. I'm super stoked. So if you guys want to see us perform that, then we'll be shooting the video a week later. I'm hyped, bro. I'm excited. The track is doing well. The track is doing well. Um, I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a dope experience. You just never know how chemistry is going to be. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
uh, but hey, you go out there, you give it your best, and you see what happens, right? I will be running all. I'll talk to you later about that. But yeah, I'll be running all the audio and things like that. You got earpieces, right?
Mhm.
I always see you with it. I always see you with your in-ear monitors.
Yeah, I mean, it's just there's times where I definitely don't need them, but
Mhm.
I just always like them. Sometimes it's hard to hear certain monitors that people have and stuff like that, and
A lot of times it's hard to hear. A lot of times it's
it's
hard to
just
hear.
I don't know. I just would rather just have the stuff blaring in my ears too.
Me too. I like it too because here's the thing. Sometimes I'm so far away from monitors that delay, if I'm like trying to hit it,
Yeah.
I don't realize it took a quarter of a second to travel to me.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So to have it right in my ear is really nice and it gives me the confidence. I do have in ear monitors as well, which I'll be hooking everything up. So we'll be good right there.
Awesome.
We'll be able to get you running, everything like that. So yeah, you are landing. Come and meet people, or come and meet Kalichi. Are you gonna have a merch table?
That day, I'm not 100% sure yet.
Okay.
Possibly.
Okay. That's more than fair. I'm super excited. I appreciate you. Is there anything you want to tell people before we hop off or
No, not really. Just hope everyone's having a good summer and to be
fair enough?
safe. Yeah.
Absolutely, guys. Absolutely. If you guys are watching this, make sure you go give Kalichi a follow. If you're from his people, make sure you go give me a follow. Before we go, we got Jeff Applegate said, "What up, Skyler Ray? Good to see you continue to do big things." We definitely trying, Jeff. I appreciate you. Kayla's still in here. My guy Anthony, coach, right? I think you know him. He overdose awareness, New Milford,
Yeah.
Connecticut.
Uh-huh.
Great people. We'll be back out there this year, August 25th. Christy Cordell said happy 7th birthday to the little one. Zeke said Eminem on Warp Tour was amazing. Christy said, y'all never, she's never been to a concert. You got to make sure you go out there. I believe you're in Texas. So if it is going down November 10th, make sure you come through. If the tickets ain't free, hit me up. I'll get you a free ticket. Man, I appreciate everybody's love so much. Oh, I missed this one. Katie Milliton said, I'm good. You guys have all been doing great. Her and her husband, our man, Danny Gibson, is the one that came and rescued us. Bro, I don't know. We might still be in that van. We were in that van for 5 days. That's
Yeah.
insane. After like a day and a half without a shower and it's like 100 degrees, you got like that film on you. It's gross. It's gross.
Yeah.
Amy Gristle, thank you both guys so much for your live. She's in Mexico right now, heading to the beach for volleyball. Have a great show this weekend, Skylar and Kayla. I appreciate you. I am grateful. Super stoked. Kalichi, thank you for your time, man. I'm looking forward to meeting you. Um, I you're inspiring, bro. You're inspiring.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, of course, man. I think it's really cool that you're out here saving lives. Like at the end of the day, doing music for a living is a cool thing, but the fact that you get a chance to save lives with it, thank you for doing that. You don't know whose mother, dad, grandma, auntie, cousin, uncle that you saved. You know what I'm saying? You did that. That's incredible, man. Thank you for everything. Thank you for your time and thank you for your friendship. I won't keep you any longer. I'm grateful. I appreciate you. Thank you.
I mean, thank you.
All right, my guy.